welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin Hippo, and joining me this evening is Casey the Rockstarflipper.
Yo, what up, everybody?
So we tonight we're going to talk about a bulk purchase we just went in on together, as well as the importance of buying bulk and wholesale as far as scaling your business up. And we'll take questions. We'll open up the floor for you guys. At the end of the show, I have a webinar of Casey's I'm going to promote, and we're doing a 50% off sale on our guide. So, but we'll get to that at the end. So, Casey, let's in the chat.
Yep. Quick hello. Admin Jamie is here. He's an admin in both our channels. Hey, Jamie, if you guys have questions in the chat, the admin people can help you out sometimes.
I don't know. Jamie's a troll.
Yep. Wade's Ventures was here. I don't know if he's still here, but big congratulations to Wade, who hit 50,000 YouTube subscribers over the weekend. Yay. Cue the background cheer music like the audience. Yeah, congratulations to Wade on that. I saw him. He was here for a minute. So welcome to everybody else. A couple more people flowing in, and then we can probably get started, I guess. What do we got, 30 people? Nice.
Yeah.
Let me
regulars here. I'm going to refresh my page because I'm showing 8 people.
Oh, yeah. Refresh. Hey, look, everybody's been trying to refresh everything today, and it hasn't quite been going the way that everyone would have liked on the refresh today. There is do you want to touch on that before we get started about today's little funness?
Yeah, let's talk about that before we get into the bulk and wholesale buying. So, you guys, okay, that's notifying me that I'm live now.
Oh.
So just like every year in Q4, eBay decides to implement some new change that's going to totally glitch out the system and screw everyone over.
Yep.
Every year, Q4. I don't understand why they got to do it now, but every year. So they're changing the item description, not the description, specifics.
Specifics, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise because they mentioned it at eBay Open and we knew it was coming. We just didn't know that, one, they were going to do it in Q4, and number two, when they did it, it was going to blow up everybody's listings and screw us all over, but it did. Surprise! Hey, some more mods are here. Bill and David are in the house. Welcome in, and Robert's here, Zombie Bargain Hunter. So you guys didn't know from what I understand, they've added new item specifics. So your old ones got pushed down, and your old ones show up as, like, remember when you could add your own specifics in? So
yep.
your size and all that still show up on the bottom as added in ones that you did, but the required size that's now the new thing up top is empty. So
everybody got that?
I was talking to Keith about it, and he says from a computer guy's, I'm sorry, I really should focus more. Okay, from a computer guy's point of view, and he's like familiar with coding and all of that. He said it would be an easy fix because they could just take the one here and make it the required one again in the coding. But it's eBay, and their coders are from like 1975 when computers were new. It's antiquated. But yeah, that's what's happening. So if you go to edit anything or end good till canceled and relist it, you're not going to have your size in there. You're going to have to put it back in. While your listings are live, the sizes aren't there from what I understand. And I know that some people have been spending all day fixing their listings. I personally wouldn't, because they could fix it, and you've just wasted an entire day for what?
Yeah. People are worried about, like, going through today without sales because of stuff being messed up. I don't know if a lot of people just do what Casey does or do what Star does or do what so-and-so does, but I didn't touch my listings today. I sold probably only like 3 items today, which is probably a little slower than I would have liked, but I didn't touch anything. So I'm just going to wait it out. I'll probably take a look at it tomorrow. I'm not going to look at it tonight. So just give it a chance till tomorrow. If it doesn't start fixing itself by tomorrow, then you can probably start working on it a little bit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, because if they fix it, then the whole day is gone.
It's a lot of time to sit and edit items.
It is.
Even if you do 100 or 200 listings, never mind, you guys have over 2,000 or whatever. So
yeah, so my theory is, like, right now I move 5 or 10 things over to Posh every day. I hit a couple until canceled and relist them. Those ones that I'm touching, I'll fix. I'm also redoing our inventory. It's that time of year. We go through our inventory. So I'm editing those as I see them.
Yep.
But as far as like sitting down and doing all 2,000 listings, no, thank you. And if I have to do that, you better believe I'll be on the phone demanding a month or two free on my source subscription, because that's a waste of time.
Yep. Bargain said he sold plenty today, didn't mess with anything. So there you go.
Yeah, we sold stuff. Here's how bad we are about procrastinating, putting stuff off. So we decided we're going to wait until next Friday, the night before we fly out to your house, Casey.
Fun.
Because if you go to bulk edit anything that's missing this size, you cannot bulk edit it. It will error out. So when we go next Friday, not this coming, but the following, the next 25th, Friday, yeah. When we go to change our handling timeout for that whole week that we're going to be with you in Florida, if the sizes still aren't in and they're editing out, we're going to have to pull an all-nighter Friday night before we get on the plane and fix it. But that's our plan. Let's just put it off until we have to deal with it, until we have to change our handling time. That's
yep. That's a little that would scare me to death. But yeah, so I just recommend, I'm with you, just wait it out and see if tomorrow it fixes itself. It might, but eBay, you asked, like, why does eBay do this during fourth quarter? They want to do things to like, what's that word I'm looking for? Like streamline or like progress the platform. But whenever you make this is a pretty major change. Keith said it, like, the coding shouldn't be too bad, but it is a major piece of the listing. And so the coding work is probably, while I'm not going to say it's hard, it's extensive is a good word for it. So there is a lot of work to do to it. And the thing, anybody that does coding will learn about coding, and I'm not like a master programmer by any stretch of the means, is the longer the code, the more the code, the more chance for a mistake.
Yes.
And I have to imagine that code work, that source code, and what I mean by source code, anybody in the chat who doesn't know, is the computer programming, the language that tells the website what to do. It's how you make websites. That is probably several pages of code just for item specifics, because each one of those drop downs has tons of, sub menus, like material / leather / silk / cotton / whatever. So there's a lot of coding. And so it's very easy if you mess up one character or one letter to cause something to go haywire. And so, I mean, that's probably why it happens. It's no excuse. It's a $10.5 billion company. But
it's a $10.5 billion, whatever you just said. Yeah. The coder should have a person editing him, and that person should have an editor, and that person should have an editor. Candace is saying they told her they're not going to fix it. It's up to us. I've heard from many different people today that called eBay. All I can say is, you guys know that usually if you call eBay, you can call back 5 times in the same day and get 5 different answers.
Right. Yeah. So I think that they will. Again, I would check it tomorrow. I give eBay everything at like 24-hour time frames. If something doesn't change in 24 hours, then I will go back and check it afterwards.
Yeah. I would say, I think they're still working on it though, just because the one thing I did notice, I moved 5 pairs of jeans over to Posh today. So I checked those 5 listings. The drop-down menu box for the choice and the style of jeans is like limited to like straight leg, boyfriend, and like 2 other choices. Boot cut's gone, skinny is gone, flare is gone. Those are 3 popular styles that I know people search for. So
are they going to be? Do we know? Probably already answered it, but are they going to add those in, or we're just waiting to see?
I guess we're just waiting to see, and that's why my hope is, well, maybe they're still coding, maybe they're still fixing.
Yeah,
because they took away like half of the choices for styles on jeans.
The other question I have about that is, don't they do any testing, like pre-preview testing? I do preview testing on my website, and my website is the most basic thing in the entire world. Like,
you would think, but
yeah. Megan Mawini actually posted that to one of the groups this morning about her, because she sells a bunch of jeans, about half the styles being gone. I was like, whoa, that's not good.
Yeah, so, I think I kind of vented a little bit. It was in your Rockstar group.
Yeah.
They're antiquated, and I had programs that worked better in the 80s.
Yeah, I saw all the venting going on, and I was like, this is not good. So anyways, the long story short recap is that, everything is messed up. It's haywire. Feel free to give it a chance to fix itself, or feel free to sit and go through all of your listings. If you have a ton of them, you might be wasting some time. So I'm waiting it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I have heard from a lot of folks that sales are really slow right now. But then on the other hand, all of the really high volume sellers I know, the power sellers, ourselves included, had a really good weekend. Megan Mawiney had to do 2 bulk sheets because she went over 50 sales.
She went over 50, yeah.
Yeah, Robert had 116 sales.
Whoa.
We had almost 40. You had almost 30.
Well, with Amazon and eBay, we had over 40.
Yeah.
Like 40.
So the power sellers are still selling a lot. That's not to say that you have to be a power seller or a volume seller, but it kind of proves the theory that if you're listing more, you're selling.
Yeah. That's the plan. That's the idea. And we've been busting out these remotes, which we're going to segue into in just a second. Chat, Tammy White's got an event opening at her house November 1st. Happy dance. Yes.
Yay.
There's some good stuff there. Myra Ruiz is here, and she made it Rockstar Stalker. She stalks me over to other channels. So thank you so much. I talked to her earlier.
Coming over here. That's great.
Yep. And Lisa is in the house. Lisa, how you doing? And Patty catching a live. So thank you, Patty, and everyone else who joined in, including Kim, who just said hello. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Coming over from my channel or wherever you came from. We appreciate the
wherever
time.
you came from. Before we segue, real quick, I want to say Candace has a good point. She does point out her Macari is doing well. Our Poshmark was on fire. We had 12 sales.
Whoa.
Yeah, 12 like $50 jeans and $80 shoes and stuff. We had a really banging weekend on Posh.
I have not been putting in Posh. I sold one. So
put your eggs in different baskets, guys.
Yeah, I heard that.
So we're gonna segue with. This is probably not worth any kind of money.
Where did you go?
I pulled it out of the box because it was pink. It's a Supergirl remote.
What does that go to? Is that like a ceiling fan Supergirl? Okay, anyway, I'm a little jealous already, but yeah. So what's the story? Wait. We bought 6,000 remote controls.
Well, it's more like 8,000 because he gave us each like closer to 4.
Oh, well, yeah. So it's a lot. Anyways, everyone saw the video. Star put up the pictures and videos. We both did. We bought a bunch of remotes. It's crazy. I think we need to talk about the basics of it, I guess, would be a good start. The reasons why we only took half and half, what we paid, and kind of how the deal worked out, like how we set it up. And then what is that?
That is the sound from It.
Oh, Kate's doing an It photo shoot, by the way, with her nephew.
She's
dressing him up as a killer clown and stuff. Anyways, I saw the costume. Okay, back on track. So we were offered 6,000, and like Star said, it's probably over 7, maybe closer to 8. I don't know. A lot of remote controls, and we decided to. Well, initially I saw it out offered, and I kind of got the wheels turning, but I kind of got intimidated because I was like, okay, I've bought a lot of bulk stuff in my life. I bought, those 200 shoes. I bought like 600 or 700 ties. And I was like, man, this is more merchandise than I've ever bought at one time. Individual merchandise. It's not the most money I've ever spent, but I was like, 6,000 is a lot of anything. I don't care what it is. It's a lot. I think it's
all one thing.
Yeah, all one thing. I think I bought like 800 video games once, which was probably one of the bigger quantities that I bought. And even that is not anything compared to 6,000. And so immediately I hit up Keith, who's a real person. And
you always have to add that. He's a real person.
And so I hit up Keith. And if you're new to this channel or not familiar, that is Star's better half.
The other half, not better.
And so Star's better half was like, I hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure you saw, this offer because it was a mutual connection of ours. And I was like, I really think I want to buy 6,000 remotes. I said, but there's no way I'm going to be able to handle it. Even with 2 of us, me and Kate, it's so overwhelming. And I was like, look, Keith was at the time even mentioning to me that like they wanted some inventory, and I had been kind of poking around at a few things for Keith over the last month or 2, I guess, and nothing was really working out. And so I was like, this is it. Let's do it. Let's split it. And obviously they're in Pittsburgh and I'm in Florida. So I was like, I'll call the guy and see if we can't get 2 shipments, and we'll just, like you put up half the money, I'll put up half, and we'll go to town on it. And so it worked out where the guy was like, yeah, I'll do it. And we negotiated kind of the shipping, because the shipping was expensive. It was a lot. What do you say, $800 for both of them?
Well, it was going to be $600 if you bought them all, and then him having to split it to 2 Gaylords, it was $200.
Yeah.
So it was the price for each of us like $100.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we paid an extra $100 each to get it split. So anyways, we ended up spending $1,600 each.
And $6.
And 1606 each. So it was $3,212 for all of them, which comes out to like 52 and a half or 53 cents a piece delivered to the door. And so we each just got a delivery last week of 3,000 each, over three, probably 3,500 or more. So
yeah,
that's where we're at with it. And again, we just got it. I got mine on Wednesday. They got theirs on Thursday.
Which is weird because I think you're farther away from
yeah, I think so too. So
I don't know. Actually, ours was here on Wednesday. I think it's our local UPS office, the UPS freight, because it arrived on Wednesday. It was scheduled or slated to be here Wednesday, but they called me Wednesday at close of business. Can we schedule a pickup? And I'm like, yeah, we're supposed to be here today.
Yeah,
we have to schedule it. Can we do Friday? And I'm like, no. Can you do today or tomorrow? And they're like, well, today is out of the question. I said, well, then I guess we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember because I got it and Star was super mad. She's like, oh my God, mine's not here yet.
I know. So if you guys saw the pictures, the Gaylord was almost as tall as me, which isn't hard to do.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. Yeah. If you don't know what a Gaylord is, think about a pallet, but with one big box instead of a bunch of separate boxes, just one large, probably 5 foot tall box. And literally, if you wanted to dig in it, you'd have to like lean over the edge and like dig through it, which I'm already told Kate, I said, once we get about halfway through the box, I'm gonna have to like lean over the box and try to dig through it. So it's getting.
Well, if you look at the thumbnail for this, we're both standing next to our Gaylord. But see, here's what we did. We did not have ours delivered to our house because just the way it's situated and I can't move anything on my own. So we had them put it in Keith's grandparents' garage. They're 5 minutes up the road from us. So we actually emptied ours out already and loaded it in boxes on his grandfather's truck. And now they're downstairs in our foyer. And we're bringing up a box at a time to clean and test. So what we did, actually, I didn't have to bend over. I'm just going to put that out there. I just kind of reached in and pulled because I'm not tall. I didn't have to bend over. But when we got about halfway down, we got a saw. And we cut like a door on one side. And then I could sit on the floor because my back is really, it hurts if I have to stand up. So I literally could just sit on the floor and just kind of put them into boxes.
It's not a bad idea. I might have to cut the box down.
Yeah, we had a really nice assembly line going. Like I was just putting them in the boxes. And then Keith was getting them on the truck. Him and his grandfather brought them in and Keith brings them upstairs. And then we sit together. He tests while I clean. I know people are going to ask how to clean them.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a cloth, like just an old wash rag and a spray bottle that you can get for like a buck at Walmart, an empty spray bottle. We put rubbing alcohol in it. Don't spray the remote, spray the cloth.
Spray the cloth. Yep, that's what Kate's doing. Yep.
And then wipe all the remotes down. We can get through like 50 in an hour between the two of us testing and cleaning.
Yep.
And then it takes him 20 minutes to get them all photographed and up. And they're really, really fast.
So Kate's doing the same thing with a cleaning bottle and a rag. And then this is her post-test item. This is her hand sanitizer after she's done with going through all of them. She's just squirting and rubbing her whole hands.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm a little more germophobic than you. So when we finish a box or two, we actually both wash our hands about 5 times with antibacterial. So then use that on top of that. And then I Lysol everywhere we were.
Yeah. And the testing, anybody who didn't see, is done on phones. You can just turn your, whoa, I got a lot of messages while we've been live. You could just turn your phone into selfie mode. And then you
selfie mode.
Point it.
Point. Can you point yours through the screen at mine? Will it work?
Oh, no, these are all have their batteries out because they're listed.
Yeah, so that is also a great point. You have to check the battery compartment just to make sure there's no corrosion or anything going on in there. And also, if you're doing the testing, you'll be switching the batteries out anyways to nice. Yes, I got one of those as well.
Oh, and I just threw it on the floor.
Cut.
Hey, Mr. Hour. Let me see if I can get it.
Oh,
I'm just going to leave it on the floor.
Yeah, so we
remote.
Yeah, Bose surround sound. They're worth a good money. We found a couple actually. There you go. So yeah, so clean out the battery compartments, test them, all that good stuff. It doesn't take long. And remember, you're not going to the store to source all these one at a time. They all showed up to the doorstep. So we could just sit and just literally spend all the time you would have spent bouncing around stores, sitting and testing and wiping and cleaning.
Less than, really.
Yeah.
And our system is he tests it before I clean it because I'm not going to spend the time cleaning something that doesn't.
Yeah, that's good point. Yeah. So Kate's been doing that too. She's been popping the battery in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then once she's done testing the whole pile, she'll wipe it all down. So the other thing that she's doing, and this is for people, I don't know how you guys are doing it, but we have all these little baggies. We have thousands of baggies we've just accumulated over the years, but she's just labeling them like A28, A5. And so, as they're done clean or after they're done testing and she's got the whole bin of tested stuff that's working, then she can photograph and clean it, photograph it, and then stick it inside of its bag. And then it's all set. And so that's how we're doing it. And then, when it sells, we go to bin A and find A25. Now, it's not perfect because, we can stick them in there kind of like in a row and they're going to get messed up. It is what it is. They're already messed up. But it only takes
we're doing the Jamie Pace method. So Keith's got these little boxes and he puts the date on the box of the day it was listed. And then he puts that in the SKU line. So instead of having box A with A through whatever, we just have a box 1017, 1018, 1019 right there. And if there's room, like, he can put 2 or 3 days in one box. You just have to keep the dates written on the box. Yeah.
That's ours. This is bin A.
Mine because it's obviously not a priority mailbox that we're misusing for storage at all.
This is our bin A. We've got about 20 of these clear ones. So I don't know how many fit in this bin, but if I'm guessing, we've listed at least 30. We've sold 4 so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's at least 30. We probably get about 40 in a bin. So I got 20 bins, so I can store 800. Hopefully I've sold quite a bit by then. So we'll get through 1,000 before we run out of bins. I'm not really sure what to do after that point.
Yeah.
So
I would just say if you guys do remotes, test them before you clean them. Because there's nothing like, and that with anything, with clothes or anything, if you go through the process of steaming something and then you find out there's a big ass tear in the armpit.
Yeah, of course. It never fails.
Yeah, so there's nothing worse than spending time on something. Super chat from Pudgy Princess Candace. Halloween candy. Thank you so much.
I didn't get Halloween candy. That's
I'll give you $1. We'll get some candy in Florida.
Oh, nice. We'll get candy in Florida and share it on stream. Okay. Do you provide batteries when they sell, Denise? That's a great question. No. We are taking all the batteries out purposely. One, it prevents any kind of oopses that happen. And 2, we're using the batteries to test. And then, all the ones, because we had a bunch, we had like 3 that were the same. One of them had batteries, 2 of them didn't. And so we took the batteries out and tested all of them. And 2 of them worked fine. And 1 of them didn't work at all. And we were using our brand new batteries. So we know that remote is bad. It wouldn't light up or do anything. So no batteries.
Yeah, we purchased, we went out and bought a bulk pack from like Walmart of AAAs and AA's. And we're popping out the old ones and throwing them away. And then we're putting the new ones in.
Now, we had some of those Apple remotes that use watch batteries. I didn't actually have any of those particular watch batteries, but what was great was that one of them was working and it was really bright red. So I took that battery out of that Apple remote and I'm using it on the rest of the Apple remotes because I know that battery is good.
Because we got he did the same. We didn't have any watch. The only watch battery we have is actually inside of a watch in a box that's wrapped up and ready to ship from a viewer that purchased that Steelers pocket watch we found. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he found one that was really red, just like you did. There's more. We had a lot of those. These are awesome. Yeah. There's a whole box full of these. And we got some of these, one of which already sold.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those are super, super rare, super hard to find. We didn't get one. We haven't found one. Eye clicker. That reminds me of like Adam Sandler or something. Yeah,
we got a couple of those. One of these have already sold. Our remotes have already been selling.
We had 2 people just ask, how do you test with your phone? All right, I'll go over it one more time.
I don't have any with batteries near me.
No, I don't have any with batteries near me anyways. Anyways, the long story short is you simply just turn your phone to selfie mode. So turn on your camera, turn it like you're taking a selfie. And then you will, and even, hold on, I do have a remote control close to me. Hold on. This may or may not work. I'm not sure, but that you guys will be able to see it. You'll just point the remote at it. And where you guys would normally see the light here, you should be able to see it in your camera. You should see this light up in the camera because it detects infrared. And I can see it on mine. I don't know if anybody else is going to be able to see it. Let me see. Oh, hang on. I got to get in camera view. No, it's not going to go through multiple screens. But anyways, it's lighting up and I can see it. And that's it. And you'll just check for that light. And if it's lighting up, I mean, you can click all the different buttons. You can test every single button. I'm kind of quickly trying to test as many as possible. I'm not going through every single button. If I sit here and click 5 or 10 buttons and they all light up, then there's a pretty good chance that the remote's good. So I don't expect the returns. Somebody was like blowing my comment section up about like, oh, you're going to get so many returns. I really, really doubt it. I don't expect, 1 in 300. Honestly.
Here's the thing. I know a lot of people who sell remotes in bulk. One of them being the person we bought these from, and they don't get any more returns on them than, and I know that they're not pushing every single button.
No. And I've sold tons of remotes in the past. I bought 9 remotes when we were in St. Augustine. Right before we were in St. Augustine, I had about 5 or 10 up. I've probably sold this year maybe 30 or 40, 50 remotes, and I haven't had a single one come back. So I've
never had 1,600. You've never had. How many do we have? 3,000.
3,000 each. Yeah, I've never had this many, but in this year, in this given year, I've probably sold 3 or 4 a month, and I have not had one complaint or problem come back. So knock on wood. Wood. I'm confident they're not going to come back, even with the. If I get 1 back, that's okay. 2 even, but think about hundreds of items going out. So the return rate is low. Wow, that's pretty good too.
We got several. This is the box of good ones. So as we were going through the Gaylord, boxing them up to bring them home, we were pulling the really good stuff out to make sure it got listed first. Yeah. This came home the first night and got put up. There's like 2 boxes of these really good ones. We got the Apple remotes, the clickers. We pulled anything with a screen like that. This one is just so cute.
What does it go to? Is that a TV remote or what?
Yeah, it says TV. I need glasses, but it says TV, DVD. I think it's just meant for like a little girl. So we'll put Supergirl and Superman in the keywords in the title.
Is there a way to tell what it's for? Yeah, the model numbers are typically either under the battery or they're on a lot of the remotes right on the back of it or in the little small thing. Yeah. So
yeah, that's the other thing. They're super easy to photograph. I watched Keith do it because I will probably we're not sourcing for a while. That's a story for another day. I watched him do it, and he really just takes a picture of the front, a picture of the back, and then a close-up of the model. And a bunch of them, it's like, he's done. And then a couple, he's like, oh, my God, where is it? And he's looking everywhere.
Yeah, I've only had 1 remote so far. Me and Kate have listed, like I said, about 40 of them. Kate's been doing the listing. I've been pulling them out because she does all the photos and lists and drafts, whatever. I think we've only had 1 remote as we've gone through all of these that we could not find a model on. We listed it anyways as a like a LG TV, DVD, because it said TV, DVD, Universal or whatever. We still listed it, and there's other ones. The other thing is if you can't find a model on the remote, you can find a similar one in actives or solds. Just type in LG DVD remote and scroll down really quick. Don't spend a ton of time, but if you can't find the model on the remote, sometimes somebody else will have one listed and they'll have the model, and then you can just find it. Yeah. So that's something that we can do as well. Everybody in the chat who sold them says they've never had one come back. Yeah, the returns are super low on remotes. I highly recommend selling things like this because the return rate is really low. So yeah,
other electronics, but it also doesn't come with the scams that other people get.
Yeah, you're not going to get somebody scamming you on a $12.99, $14.99 remote. It's not a high dollar risk. We're into it for a low amount of money. There's a lot of plus sides to this. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's volume. We're not going to list 3,000 remotes in a week. It just doesn't work that way. But it's worth the time. We don't have source. It all showed up to the door, etc. And so speaking of that, let's get into the second side of this as far as like, making the deal, finding deals.
All right, before we do that, let me look at the chat real quick.
List is single or a lot. I think we've probably covered that as we've been talking that we are listing everything individually. There's really no reason to list it as a lot just yet.
Green Thrifty Life needs the I will go on Pirate Ship tomorrow and get the shipping and let you know how much it's going to be plus the cost of the thing. And you can have the battery. Literally, your watch is packed up, bubble wrap, taped in a box, so you can have it. And I keep coughing, you guys. I'm so sorry. I try to mute it when I do.
I had to text Keith.
Huh?
Pete wants to know if we're doing free shipping. I am. We had a couple that were big that I might charge on, but I'm doing free shipping.
The most expensive ones so far. I think there was a Bose one that Keith said goes for 40 or 50.
Yeah, so I've sold a couple of these already. These are basic Apple remotes. I've been getting 15. I put them up for 16 free shipping. I sold a couple at best offer for 14 and 15, so that's right what they're worth. Almost everyone was selling. Those are the consistent ones. But as far as the most expensive one we've listed, we have two. One actually already sold for $29.99. We listed this weird shaped one. I don't know, these odd ones. This one's up for $29 right now. I don't know why. That's what it's been selling for. And then also we have, if I can find it, we have a Bose one too that's listed for like 20. But
side note, because Casey had a full day ahead of us because his shipment came in first. Keith's kind of been stalking your store and using you to comp. Like checking sold comps. We're just like, whatever Casey's listing on that, we'll do that.
Everything. So the majority. Okay. So this one, look how crazy. So this is like like a standard remote control, like one you normally click with. Look how long this remote control is. This one's up, I think, for 20 or 25. I don't know. And what was crazy about this one, Kate's already got it kind of sealed up, but the bottom of this clicks out and it has like a whole nother set of buttons underneath of this thing. It's crazy.
That's so cool. We got a little tiny screen reader. We have a lot to go through, guys. You realize how many remotes, 3,000 remotes is?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm sitting here with 30 remote controls. That is exactly what 1%. 10% is 300, so 1%. 1%. I'm gonna have 99 more of these bins. That's mind-numbing to even consider. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. So, okay, 2 points that we need to make here is how did we get this deal? Where did we find this stuff? How did we find it? And how can other people find? They're not going to find this deal, but find deals similar. Okay, so I guess the way that we found it, 50-50. It's sort of a way that we find stuff because we're on social media and YouTube. So obviously we get chatted with and interacted with hundreds of times a day, and people are inclined to offer us material or inventory that they either can't sell, they don't want to sell, or they don't deal with, or that they have to skip on for whatever reason. There's a ton of inventory out there. I hate when people say there's not enough to sell. I can't stand that. There's plenty of inventory. You just have to look. But we get offered it because of what we do. And so not everyone is on YouTube or social media. I get it. But that's where you don't have to jump on YouTube necessarily. But there are people who are really active on Instagram without YouTube channels, and they get offered a bunch of stuff too. The point of it is you really need to maximize your social media usage without wasting your day.
Yeah, and you need to network because sometimes these people that come to Casey and I with stuff we don't want, Casey and I both run Facebook groups. So we know a ton of people in there. We could either put up a post or we could contact you privately. I know I'm okay in my group. If you're looking for wholesale, you could put up a post and say, I want to buy all the Dansko shoes in the world. And I don't really care if people connect that way. So
I'm good with that too. And I preach that. And, I did a webinar about like sourcing stuff from outside areas. And one of the ways that I talk about, and I'm going to give you guys who are in the chat right now kind of a free piece of a morsel here, is, the social media networking side of it. You can't go into Facebook groups or like neighborhood groups or our Facebook groups and just start spamming like, want to sell diet pills, want to sell diet pills, want to sell diet pills. It's just not going to work. But if you're going there, instead of selling people stuff, you're looking to pick something up or looking, like I specifically deal in rubber bands. I'm looking to buy rubber bands, whatever. And you go to the owner of the Facebook group, the admin, and you're like, hey, look, I collect rubber bands. I really love them. I resell some. I do whatever. I'm a this or that. Do you mind if I'm looking for it? Most of them, and I'm with it, will be okay with it. 1, you approach them and you're nice about it. 2, you're not looking to spam. And 3, you're looking to buy rather than sell. Because the selling, what people don't understand about a Facebook group, even though legally we're not like responsible to a point, if somebody's selling stuff in a group and one of our group members buys from them and it turns out bad, it looks bad on us. So if somebody's selling, junk or fake Yeezys or something, that's bad. But if somebody's just there, buying stuff, that really can't go wrong, as long as they don't try to screw over the seller. But so we're pretty much okay with that. And Facebook groups, forget about the reseller groups for a minute, because the reseller groups are great. But your local neighborhood pages, I use this as a story because it's one me and Kate did. There was a lady who lives, I always talk about the neighborhood behind us, which Star will see. These houses start in the $1 million and up. And the lady's husband, she's like 60 years old, retired lawyer, wears a suit and tie every day. Nice suits. Remember, they're rich. Nice suits. She's like, he's done. I don't want to see him in another suit ever again for the rest of our lives. He has like 50 suit jackets. Please, she was in a Facebook group, and I just put it out there that I was buying clothes. She's like, please come get these suit jackets. It was like a big black garbage bag with 50 of them. And I was like, how much? What are you talking about? She's like, I'm taking them to Goodwill if you don't come get them. She's like, give me $1 a piece. $50 are yours. One of his Armani suit jackets, is real Armani. It wasn't the high end one, like the $2,000 or $3,000 jacket, but it was still, we sold it used for like $79.99. Paid for the whole thing just out of a Facebook group, just because I was marketing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so there are deals to have networking, making friends with the admins and the group owners, making your own group. You can make your own group for anything. For local neighborhood, you could come in there and be like Detroit buy, sell, trade group. Start your own, whatever it is. Pittsburgh, whatever. And then don't do Pittsburgh. Star's already working on that, I think. But yeah, so the networking. And so I don't want to reveal too much. Some people already know, and that's fine. But our deal came through somebody that we've known for a long time. It wasn't necessarily that we started a conversation or a friendship or whatever with, hey, like, we're going to buy 6,000 remote controls from you at some point down the road. Of course, we didn't know that. It just happened to be, the more people that you're friendly with, the first person they're going to think of calling. And of course, he thought of me. He's like, hey, you buy inventory? I'm like, I do. And then it was boom, 6,000 remotes. I'm like, oh, like, okay. And so, I get, that's an obviously a huge exaggerated example, but I get people probably on a daily basis, at least once a day or every other day, that are like, hey, I'm really not into men's clothing. I deal in women's clothing. We came across 100 men's button-down shirts. Are you interested? I mean, that is every day for me. And so, if I hadn't bought these 6,000 remotes or 3,000 each, I would still be buying, like the neckties. I bought 700 neckties just simply because of networking. That's it.
That's a nice segue too. So Casey and I and Keith have been brainstorming a way, and you mentioned this on one of your shows. We're trying to find a way to connect folks.
Yeah.
So people who are looking in search of buying in bulk and wholesale, and people who are looking to sell. Like he said, they want to get rid of all their men's clothes because they just want to do women's, or they want to get rid of all their jeans because they're moving into hard goods. Or
they want to get rid of their shoes because they don't like ooby gooby shoes.
Yeah, I love shoes now because I like money more than I hate germs, and I'm telling you, shoes are money.
They are.
You guys saw our fat stack photo today. If you follow us on Instagram or you're in my group, all those boxes were shoes, and they were expensive shoes. I like shoes now, so
and they're good sellers on your Posh. They're great sellers on Posh.
Yes, but hopefully, like. It's we come to some way to do it. We've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah, me and Keith have been kind of brainstorming for the last few weeks, especially after this came out. And when they're down here next week, it's hard to coordinate major things over the phone. The fact that we coordinated these remotes is an act of God for both of us. But when they're down here, and they'll be here for almost a week, so we're going, or right out a week, me and Keith are kind of take one of those whiteboards and just scribble ideas and try to figure it out. The premise, the long story short of it, is we want to be able to take a place where anybody that wants to get rid of any number of X amount of whatever can put it with, like, where you're located, who you are, what you're selling. And then we can take that list with another list, an entirely separate list of people that want to buy stuff. What kind of stuff are you looking for? Where are you located? What kind of budget do you have? And we can kind of filter, almost like I don't want to say like an eBay search, but like a searchable type thing, or something that we could put out.
Goods.
Yeah, even something that we could, me and Keith once a week or once every other week or something could put out as an email to everyone, or a message or a post or something where we can say, hey, these are the available items for the week. And, kind of first come, first serve. Here's the information. Leave your name, contact us, message us, email us, and we'll kind of put the buyer and seller together, sort of. We're certainly not an eBay, Amazon platform, but we have way too many people watching us that are looking, and way too many people that want to sell. So
Yeah, we both get contacted all the time about, do you know anyone who has, or I have, and do you know anyone that wants to buy?
Yep.
That's how we came across the remotes. It was kind of like a, well, forget us finding you someone, we'll take them. And that box we got from you back in July, they to Casey, and he's like, I know someone who wants it.
Yep.
So we're hoping it'll be. I think we'll figure it out when we're down there.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask, I used to get this question, but just to cover this before anyone tries to troll it, if stuff is so profitable or the inventory is so good, why aren't we taking it and just making the money ourselves? We can't handle that much inventory. We're not Amazon with 35,000 workers. So we are very limited. And I don't know if you guys missed the beginning of the show, but we just bought 3,000 pieces of inventory. So yeah, there's just entirely too much inventory. There's too much merchandise. Nobody could ever handle the amount of available items there is. So
yeah, no, there's just so much. And I was telling Casey before we came on, we always get on and talk a little bit before we go live. I could go through our inventory, and I have found, oh my God, it's disgusting. I have a thrift store worth of crap that has fallen off and not been listed. And I know to some people that's like, how do you not notice thousands of items not listed?
No.
It's very easy when you're a volume seller. Very, very easy. When you have 2,000 plus listings, at one point we almost had 4,000 listings live when we were getting ready to do an anchor store, but then we decided to spend time on YouTube and Poshmark. So we dropped down. It's easy. It gets put on the shelf, and I just found these really super cool like roller blades. They're like ice skates, but they're roller blades, but they're different. I don't know how to describe them. They're Spider-Man, new in the box, and we have 2 pairs just sitting up there collecting dust. Those need to be up for Q4. So
yeah, every time you go through the inventory, I figure for every 100 items, there's like 2 or 3 that are falling off. So if you have 2,000, you end up finding 40, 50, 60 items. You're like, oops. So that happens. There's a couple comments. Yeah, Colleen popped in. Hey, Colleen. Zombie Bargain Hunter wanted you to send all the plush. I think
mine.
Problem with that, yeah.
Plusher for me.
Lizzie Lulu just said that eBay's not allowing used bras. I'm going to assume that that's got something to do with the item specific issue. If I had to guess, if you're trying to list a new listing with used bra, I have a used bra. I just checked my store to double check. We still have it, so they should still be allowed. I don't imagine
you'll get it taken down. Because back when they a couple years ago, for whatever reason, they used to allow used socks to be sold, which is barf. But we had a brand new pair of Harry Potter socks up, new with tags, but it got hit in the fray. We got a message, oh, you need to take these down because we're no longer allowing used socks. And we wrote them back and said, oh, these have tags, and that was fine. So if they somehow changed, I think everyone's used bras will be taken down and you get that message, because we definitely got one when they did the sock thing. eBay said not a glitch on bras. I'd like to hear that from more than one representative, and I'd like to hear it from concierge.
Yeah, I if it's because she said that it's not allowing her to choose used, you'd have to lie to list it, which not being able to select used on an item is definitely a glitch. I highly doubt they're removing the used option for bras. That's a pretty big market, and it's possible, but I doubt it.
I just really think that you'd get notified, because every time they make changes like that, if you have something up, you get yours pulled down in a notification. I'm not doubting that Lizzie Lulu was told by some $5 an hour rep and over across the pond. Yeah. But the thing is with eBay reps, I'm going to piss somebody off, but they really don't know what they're doing. They don't communicate. None of them ever know what's going on. And you could call the same day 5 different times about the same issue, get 5 different reps, and be told 5 different things. And they all think they're right, and they all think they know what they're doing.
Yep. No,
even concierge sometimes is annoying. And if you don't know what concierge is, it's a special US-based, you talk to reps right out of Canada at headquarters in eBay. You get it if you go to eBay Open or have an anchor store. Even they sometimes are like, well, it's policy. And you're like, oh, I beg to differ,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know a couple people, I won't say their names, but that purposely call concierge with things that they know are X. They're one way or the other. Like, hey, I'm being told that first class is only 13 ounces now. And the rep's like, yep, that's correct. I can confirm that. And they're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And the rep's like,
and,
oh, well.
Going to supervisors is when it comes to customer service. Do you want to know what going to the supervisor means? Because I used to be a customer service rep for several different companies. So you know how they have the cubicles? Say Casey's in the next cubicle and I'm on the phone with an irate customer and they want a supervisor. I put them on hold and I'm like, Casey, you want to call? No, you need a supervisor? Yeah. Can you take my call and tell me you're a supervisor? Like legit. We never had supervisors. You just passed the calls around to different reps. They said they were a supervisor. And we were taught this in training because it would calm people down. If people feel like they got a manager or a supervisor, they would immediately calm down. They feel like they have someone of authority and they're more likely to de-escalate and listen. That's just my experience, but I'm not doubting that you were told that it was a supervisor, but I have no faith in eBay reps. No faith at all. I don't think any of them are trained. I think they're all given a different training handbook with different rules. And some of them are probably just told, make it up as you go.
It may be the fact that some of them have worked there for like 6 months and some of them have worked there for 6 years. So that might depend on their training as well. Depending on what I'm calling for. Like if I'm calling to get a feedback removed because a buyer's being a ding dong, I can kind of rely on them for that sometimes. But certain tech questions or like policies, I would never go off of that. I would go through even eBay for Business on Facebook to a point.
I've called concierge and been told something by somebody named Scott.
Had to be Scott.
Had to be Scott. I called back the next day and got Jake, and the story was different.
Jake from State Farm?
No, Jake from GSP.
Oh, from eBay concierge. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't put all the faith in that. You're gonna have to call him back and check up. My guess is that used bras are just fine. If it's not letting you list used bras, wait till tomorrow, wait for a day or two, and then call them again. But I think that it should be okay. All right. So
anyway, the importance we're trying to get to is networking.
Yes, networking. So again, our order came from somebody we've known for a while. There was nothing crazy about it, but we are working on a way to try and put people together, A and B together. Me and Keith will work on this when they're down here. And just stay tuned. Keep an eye on Stars Group. You know, whoever or whatever we come up with as an idea will not be limited to one channel or one group. We'll put a place that everyone can go to or something, you know, even if I have to create like sort of a website or something.
Or an email or it's gonna end up being like, and I know I already said this, but I think it's funny. It's gonna be a dating service to match up buyers and sellers.
Well, and for that reason, I'm out.
So you guys, we have a couple minutes left. We're going to keep talking, but in the meantime, if you have questions, put them in the chat so we can try to get to as many as we can. You can ask us about anything. It doesn't have to be about the topic at hand.
Candace had the first one. She just asked me if I saw it. Why couldn't you guys do the Facebook group for the inventory? Yeah, it may end up being a Facebook group that we do. We may have to create a new Facebook group, invite everyone in, and create like maybe file documents or like dedicated days and posts where you comment, or it may be a part of it. We, again, all of the logistics of that when Keith's here will work out. We have to make sure we focus on a little bit of work while we're here instead of just like not work. So.
Yeah, I plan on working. I'm going to be taking lots of extra photos, storing them in my laptop so I can list while I'm there. Bringing my laptop.
We don't have Wi-Fi here. It's charged. You have to pay by the hour here for internet.
Mm-hmm. Like one kick in the ass every hour.
Oh, she got jokes. Okay, so that's where you get for live. Now you got to pay by the minute. Just FYI.
I have better. You can't sell plush on Posh. Say that 3 times fast. You cannot sell plush on Posh. You cannot sell plush on Posh.
Yeah, that's kind of different.
I'm sure you've seen people with plush on Posh.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. It can get you suspended. It can get your account removed.
Yep. The new category is home goods, not in your bed goods.
Yep. You cannot. It's on there, and I know people think you can. It's kind of like when you see Velcro on eBay.
You just said that word on live stream.
What was that song on YouTube? It's a hook and loop.
I haven't seen that one.
The lawyer team that sings about how you shouldn't use that word.
No, you got me on that one.
But yeah, it's not allowed on Posh yet. I have hopes that they'll open it up someday.
Candace she's been asking, so last week she had some slow times with her store and she put best offer on, I think she went to everything on it. And she sold some stuff. She had a little bit of success. Are you able, I'm going to throw you under the bus, but are you able to look at her store after we're done? Candace, can you email Star? Feel free to CC me on it, but I've got a couple of store reviews to do after this and I'm exhausted. So I don't know if I'll get to it tonight. I want you to get your store looking at though.
I can look at it tomorrow. I can't get to it tonight.
Okay. Yeah. So just email it over and one of us will get over, we could both respond. Go ahead and respond to her email. I'll quickly just take a couple minutes and look through it, but we'll see if I can find something that stands out to me. I know she's got a ton of plus size, so there shouldn't be too many problems with that. But
I can look at it tomorrow for sure. Like I'm just exhausted. I've been spending every day upstairs in the hot serial killer room going through inventory.
Just say the V word. Yeah, I've been nonstop working, and I had to go pick up a bunch of stuff from my mom's house. We got this carpet steamer. We're like doing spring cleaning, but we do it in the fall. So and Star and Keith are coming too. So
they're really pigs.
Yeah, I'm gonna. No, it's not outside of our house. Like I want to pressure wash and do all that. So I've been kind of trying to.
Yeah, we got to fold laundry tonight. But I will look at it tomorrow.
Yep. And then we had a major almost pool disaster, so I had to deal with all that over the last couple of days. Our pool guy backwashed our pool. If you don't know what that is, they put the pumps in reverse and they pump water out the back into the yard, but they only do it for a couple minutes, and it's made to like empty the lines out of air and all this. They do it once a week. As part of our pool service. And the guy forgot to turn it off and he emptied our pool almost. And it went below the level of the pump. And so the pump was going, and so the pool people had to come out and fix everything. And I've been dealing with that. It was a major disaster. But they were here today and they fixed the plumbing and the pump and all this stuff. So they paid for it all, which is cool. And they're paying for my water bill because we had to refill the pool. It rained and our pool was lower than when it rained. And I was like, Kate, that's impossible. It rained for like 8 days. And she's like, no, the pool's really empty. I'm like, shut up. And so I went out there and it was empty. I'm like, that's interesting. And so then we fill the pool up and the pool guy's like, yeah, it's going to cost you like $50 to fill your pool up. And I was like, yeah, you guys are paying for that. And so they did. They took my water bill. I'm like, sweet. That's awesome. But
Christian, sorry, I cannot read right tonight. Christian is a loyal group member. He's very active in the group and comments on a lot of things. So I do recognize you. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Christian.
The mentor group is something that Facebook has that group administrators can set up. I set that up in hopes that you guys would reach out and make friends and start the networking that Casey and I are always telling y'all.
Oh yeah.
We may be able to set something up like that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, the logistics are just me and Keith. So we talk probably every other day. The thing about it is when you're on the phone, you can talk about like basic questions and like, hey, did you see that box? Should we do priority first class? Yeah, let's do priority. Great. But when you're trying to like build a plan, like an actual, I wouldn't call it a business plan, but a plan of like action of something, of like a task or a project, it's really hard to do over the phone. Even when we do like video calls or Skype calls or FaceTime with them, it's just easier to do in person, and it's actually perfect timing for them to be coming here because we've been talking about it for months, probably.
Yeah, for months. There's a bunch of questions in here.
Oh, Delilah's Vintage, I'll jump on hers. When using Posh and eBay, what platform do you use to keep them both organized? So I'll talk for myself. Everything we do goes eBay first. This is a great question for the Amazon as well. So we do everything based off of our eBay. It's kind of our building blocks. And then, there's probably X amount of items that can't go on one platform or the other. So Star just put it out. The plush can't go on Poshmark, so it doesn't matter. So that would be just like the building blocks of eBay only. I have items that I'm gated for on Amazon, so they have to go eBay. They're just not going to go Amazon. And there's also items that I sell on Amazon for significantly more money than I would on eBay. And I don't even bother to put them on eBay because they're worth $25, but I get 50 for them on Amazon, and I'm just going to let them sit and ride it out. There are programs to do it, of course. List Perfectly is one for eBay to Posh, eBay to Etsy. Amazon, eBay, those ones are kind of expensive. It's Sellbrite, 6bit, Crazy Lister, and Magento are the four that come to mind. They're pricey. They're anywhere from like $75 to $175 a month. But yeah, there's ways to do it. But I build off of eBay basically. I figure out is something either it is eBay or it's not eBay. And if it is eBay only, then there it goes. If it's eBay and something else, then I got to go down the cross post route. But
I don't use List Perfectly to store. You can though. I think that's what they're asking.
No, I don't either. Yeah,
that keeps track of it all for you.
Yep.
I just use List Perfectly to cross post quickly from eBay to Poshmark. They do have an ability to store.
Yeah. To clarify that, List Perfectly is a tool. You can take 1,000 items and post them over to Posh or eBay or back and forth. But if you actually want to store the items in List Perfectly's inventory to keep them, you have to pay for whatever the plans are, and it gets expensive for that. So we use it as a tool, but not as a storage so much. Some of you will use it as storage. Not some.
Yeah, some people might. So we do the same thing as Casey. Everything goes on eBay unless it's something that's more expensive on Amazon. And Keith handles all of our Amazon and our electronics and phones and all that stuff. So if it's on Amazon and it's not on eBay, it really doesn't affect me because that's Keith's thing. Like Posh is my baby. If it's on Poshmark, it's on eBay, period.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's on eBay, period.
That's ours.
And then we just have a system in our SKU line. Sometimes you'll still see it. Our old system was in the title. But we just put these little asterisks, like little stars. 1 for Posh, 2 for Macari.
There you go. Systems. Create processes and procedures, guys. Most expensive plush. Star, go. You go first.
Oh boy, I don't even remember. God.
Mine is easy because I don't sell a ton of plush, but it was the Douglas Lion King about 3 years ago. That was $200. I paid $3 for it at Goodwill. I didn't even know that it was worth a bunch of money. I bought it because it was pretty big and he was cool looking and he still had the tag on him, which I guess helped. But I bought it for $3 and it sold for $265 or $269 or something like that. Shipping and fees took like $40, and so I made like $220 on it.
I don't think I've even broken the $100 mark on plush, to be honest with you.
I've only sold one other one over 100. We sold the monster, My Pet Monster with the handcuffs. We got him without the T-shirt, but with the handcuffs, we sold him for 125. Paid $5 for that one. Is your Facebook group called Flippin Hippos? No, it's called the Flippin Hippos pod. God, why am I so bad at this?
I can never say it either. It's Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod.
Reseller Pod, yes. The Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod, yes.
A pod is a group of hippos, in case you're wondering. A group of hippos is called a pod. I have not broken the $100 mark on plush, but we have sold a lot, like 70, 80, 90. Yeah. And we get most of them for 50 cents. So, you know, I'm okay with not breaking the $100 mark because of how cheap I get them. But someday I will. I just have to get out of Poopberg.
The same story with my ties. All my ties sell for 10, 15, 12, 14, 18, but I'm into them for 50 cents. I have sold a couple of ties really expensive. I sold a $50 Burberry. I sold a $70 Hermes tie once. I sold a $60 Brioni tie. I sold quite a few 50s, you know, in that 40 to 60 range. The most expensive one I sold was the Hermes tie that was like $70. So I've never sold a $100 or more tie. Jamie Pace has sold ones over 100. I've sold tons of Trump ties for $30, $40. I've sold all kinds of Vineyard Vines for 30, 40, but for that kind of price, it's great margin. So is that a paid group? No, not a paid group.
Kara K, if you have a chance, if you have some free time later, you can search my channel for List Perfectly. And I have a video with a screen share showing you how it works, how to use it. And then there's a coupon code and affiliate link in that video that'll get you some money off your first month if you want to try it out.
Yep, there you go.
But you can see me use it and how to use it to see if you're even interested in trying it. They do have a 7-day trial, or you can use the coupon. But just search the channel for List Perfectly. It'll come up.
Somebody said a Versace tie for 125. I've never actually gotten a legit Versace tie. We have one right now, but I'm convinced it's fake, and I can't convince myself it's real because some people told me it was real, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty good at it, but not on this one. I can't tell. So, Versace, I would, if this tie is real, I'd probably be able to get 100 plus for it. But how did I know how much to ask for the Lion King plush? Great question, because when I bought that plush and I took it home, I knew that it was going to be about $20 to ship because it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I don't know, pretty good size. It was a good size plush. And so I figured it'd be $20. I knew that the fees would be, at least $4 or $5 or $6. So I knew my break even with the 3 was probably around $30, $35. And when I bought it, I was hoping, I didn't look it up. This was a rookie mistake. Again, this was 3-4 years ago. I wasn't a rookie, but I should have known better. I was assuming that plush was a $50 plush. I was like, I got to be able to get $50 because these are the kind of plush when you go to the Disney store, they're like $100. And I'm like, all right, I'll get 50. I'll make $15, $20 on it. I had no idea what Douglas toys were. And so I ended up winning on that side of it. But if I hadn't been right about it and it hadn't been Douglas, it probably would have only been worth 25 or 30 and I would have lost money. So I looked it up. As with any item, just comp it. But thankfully, I looked up Douglas toys. Whenever I looked up the plush, because it had the tag, I looked up who made it. And it popped up and all the solds. I was like, no way. And so I started scrolling. And when I went home and Googled the Douglas toys, I found how collectible they were. And I was like, wow, there's a market for this. So
yeah, plush is going to always be my favorite. I've even told Keith, if it turns out that we do make a turn more towards electronics, I still want to go to the Goodwill every Sunday and look through the 50-cent plush and bring home 100 new friends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to buy and sell ties. I sell tons of ties. I was checking back through the system this month, and it looks like we've been averaging 50, 60 ties a month, like 1 or 2 a day on average. There's days where I sell 4 or 5. So, yeah, I mean, if I can sell 50, 60 ties a month, you're talking about 600 or 700 ties a year, and I make an average, a profit, clear, $8 to $9. That's $5,000 a year in profit on ties.
Yeah, I feel the same with plush. I mean, I sell plush from $9 to $8.90, depending on the plush. Yeah. But even the little guys that sell for $12 or $10, usually I get them for a quarter, 50 cents, sometimes less than that if I can strike a deal at a yard sale. Yep. And I'm really fast with plush. I could sit down for an hour and I've timed myself and photograph 40.
Yeah, no,
I get them all listed in like another hour and a half.
It's quick, it's easy, and when you're only into stuff for 50 cents, you can bring a lot home. Yeah. Do we clean ties? I don't clean them like per se, like I do the clothing that we put in the washing machine, but I've done some spot cleans with like a Tide stick. It has worked, where I will just take it and dot the little dot, like I'll find a tiny little stain and I'll get it out, and then I'll use my fingers with maybe some laundry soap and I'll wipe it, and then I'll use a wet rag, a damp rag to wipe it clean, and then I'll hand dry it or steam it and make sure it comes out. If it doesn't, we just get rid of it. But we don't clean them like you would think a normal thing. No.
We steam ours. Everything
wrinkled, yeah.
Well, no, we steam it. Our germ thing. So stick in the washing machine or the dryer before it comes into the main part of our house.
I steam them like the wrinkle, like when they're full, they got those press lines or whatever, and we steam it out to make it nice and straight. We do that.
Yeah, we steam them just to sanitize them. The steamer that I have behind me, you guys know I talk about all the time. It's touted to kill dust mites, bed bugs, germs. It's a sanitizing steamer. It also takes out wrinkles. So if you just want to do this, but we do all the plush ties, hats, purses. Anything you can't put in the washing machine legitimately gets steamed before it comes in. And Bill and Dave can attest, Sydney can attest, they've stayed in my house with me and seen me. And things get isolated out in the foyer and they don't come in until I steam them. Shoes get drenched in Lysol out there.
Oh man,
it's really funny that 2 people like us ever started doing this because
we use
germaphobes.
Yeah, we use Lysol too. We have spray Lysol that we spray everything with. So yeah, we do clean a lot of stuff. I mean, we really try to clean as much stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't mess with it. We do. We put some time into it. So researching real versus fake Hermes ties. Still not convinced mine's real. Rag 1602. That's Sandy. Yeah, Hermes is Hermes. Is that Hermes? That's a really hard one to tell. The ones that I'm best with at Hermes is the logo with the carriage and the horses. If it's on there, the carriage should be, the horse should look like a horse and not like a cartoon. It looks real. The carriage is real crisp and it just, everything looks right about it. And the stitching is always really good on them. So
we typically once, and that was how we told that we were going to leave it behind because we saw from afar the horse and carriage. And if you know what that looks like, you can spot it from a mile away.
Yep.
One tie laid out real nice. And we both saw at the same time and we looked at each other like, are you kidding me right now? We both ran over there and the stitching on the carriage was really bad. It looked like a kid tried to.
Yeah. I had a fake. I've since gotten rid of it, but I had a fake Hermes. I should have kept it, but it was really bad. It was terrible. And I used it as an example for a while, but yeah. So Pete
called eBay and the used bra is another glitch. So We've got one rep saying it's a change in policy. We've got another rep saying it's a glitch. Again,
go gadget eBay.
eBay's wonderful. All right, you guys, we've been on for an hour, so we're gonna wrap this up with a couple of.
I want to leave them with just my part of it. I want to leave them with just 2 tips that you guys can start doing the rest of this week and this weekend, just as something. If you need inventory, if you're looking, obviously we're working on the group thing and the project that we'll get to you guys as soon as possible. But if you want to try to find other inventory, this is the 2 things you can do right away. Number 1, I gave you guys the clue. Go into Facebook groups, make friends with the admins, make it a point to search your Facebook tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever. Search for local neighborhoods near you, search for the town near you. Okay, for example, I live in Tampa, but I don't actually live in Tampa. I live like 15 minutes outside of Tampa. So there's like all kinds of towns around here. Riverview, Apollo Beach, all these areas. Search for those names of the small towns around you and find their Facebook groups. Make friends and go in there and start finding inventory. The second one is if you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram. If you're already on Instagram, start making friends and following all the big YouTubers and sellers that you know, that you follow, that you like, and then start going through their feeds and looking at all the people that follow them and start commenting and posting and putting stuff up on your own. Trust me, you will find stuff.
Yeah. And Casey also did a webinar on ways to source not just wholesale, bulk, and networking and social media.
Yeah, like everyday inventory, even, in smaller quantities outside of thrift stores and Goodwills and things, because a lot of towns, they're expensive. It's just the fact they're getting a lot, or they just don't have good stuff. And so, the bulk is a couple of the ways. I went over 12 ways. Bulk and wholesale and networking is 1, and 2, call it 2 of the ways, but there's 10 other ways. And there's so many. I'll float out another one. Like church sales are a really good way to find stuff, and people know about church sales for the most part. But what people don't know is that you can go on churches' Facebook groups and find their calendar of events and when they're going to have spring cleaning sales or fall sales. You can contact the church and ask them. You can get their phone number right off their Facebook page, or you can get their address. You can get all the information right without ever leaving your iPad or your computer. So that's a really great way. And I talk about 12 total ways, 11 other ones of how to do that. So it's a great way to find inventory.
Yeah. So I was there when you did the webinar live as a mod. It's a good webinar. Even I learned some stuff. That's what I love about this community. You can be in this business for a long time and you can watch, a peer do a video or go into their Facebook group. And you're like, hey, I never knew that one. I never knew that one. I was taking notes even. It was a really good webinar. Like I said, I took notes definitely because there were a couple of things I had never thought of and I didn't know.
I got 2 of those from somebody else actually over the last year. So most of them were mine, but I learned 2 of those from someone and I asked them if I could use that. And so I learned from people. But yeah, I put it in the webinar. It's 90 minutes. So sit down, plan a time. You can split it up, but it's down below. And I put it together with my other webinar. So if you buy one, kind of get one free. The other webinar is about affiliates, which you guys might be familiar with. If you're not, it's the links that we use to sell product that we don't actually own. If you're a supporter of a product or you use a product, you are welcome to sell that to any audience that you have, and you can get paid for that. So there's another webinar for that. It's 90 minutes, and it's kind of a bonus that I threw in. And also in that package is a template, how I make those advertisements to advertise to people to get them to bring me stuff or offer me stuff. It's kind of like hey, I would like to buy plush. I live in Tampa. Here's my information. I'm looking to buy any and all. Please email me back. So I created that template. So you get all 3 items. Stars linked it down below. Speaking of an affiliate, that is an affiliate link as well. But
gotta say that legally. So down below, you can get Casey's 90-minute webinar on different ways to source and find inventory outside of the box, other than the Goodwill. His webinar on
affiliate marketing
and all of his templates for putting up ads to find inventory.
All 3 items, they're $19. They're linked below. And as soon as you pay for it, it is automatically emailed to you. If you don't get it within a couple of minutes, search your inbox for Send Al, or you can email me or Star and I'll make sure I get it to you. So.
And by law, I am required to say it's an affiliate link. So if you do purchase that, both Casey and I will get.
Yep. If you do pick that up, I will be splitting that with Star because she was so kind enough to bring me on and kind enough to link it for me. So.
Yep. And then one other thing I did want to mention, it is October, so we are coming to the end of 2019. Keith and I are doing a blowout on our 2019 clothing guide as we wrap up. It's still valid It's still a really good guide, you guys. It's got a ton of information in there. It is not your normal clothing guide. It legitimately breaks stuff down by used and new, and the average sell-through price and average sell-through rate on each item and what your target spending amount should be. So it's not just like a clothing guide with, oh, buy these brands. It's this brand and used jeans usually sells for this much, this fast, and this is what you should pay for them. And it's got a ton of brands in there. They're still all pretty relevant, even though it was done in January. It's still a really good guide. It's relevant. It's just, we're wrapping up 2019. So we're going to offer to you for 50% off. $10 will get you the guide. But the catch is, and there's always got to be a catch, right?
Uh-oh.
You got to have the coupon code to get the 50% off to enter and to send out when you go to purchase it. And the way to get the coupon code is to be in the Hippo Hut group. So once we're off air, I'm going to go in the group and put up a post with the code in it that you can use for 50% off. But it will only be available to members of our Facebook group.
There you go. And that's it. We'll give you free stuff. We'll give you coupon codes, but make sure you are supporting the channels because it is what allows us to help you guys out and make these videos. So
yeah, when we do all of this, quote unquote, for money, but YouTube doesn't pay as much as people think it does.
No.
A lot of our time spent answering messages and questions we do for free out of the goodness of our hearts.
My name is Casey Paris, not Casey Neistat. I promise you.
Yeah. So sometimes we do charge you guys a little bit for guides or for webinars, or we encourage you to like the video to help it be seen by more folks so we can get a couple more pennies. You see us putting up our affiliate links, but legitimately we're making pennies. It's not a lot of money. So do what you can to support the channel by liking videos, subscribing, joining our groups, supporting us, helping us answer questions in the group if you're an expert on something and we're not around or we're busy. I don't have any of your links in the thing except for your webinar. Right. Everyone knows Rockstarflipper.
YouTube.com/Rockstarflipper. It's really easy to find.
Yeah, you can find Rockstarflipper on Instagram, Twitter,
Facebook, everywhere.
Everywhere. And if you want to find us, we're flipping it.
Google. Yeah, just type it in Google. It'll come up, I promise. Usually. But ignore the rest of the Google searches because some of those might be some of those TMZ stories.
Yeah, so, and if you want to find us, we're flipping hippos everywhere. Candace, don't forget to email your store. We are thehippohutteam@gmail.com, or just send it to me on Facebook in a message. I believe we're friends, so I'll actually see your message. Yeah. They hide messages from you if folks aren't your friends.
That's right. They do. I check it every day because I get like 2 or 3 every day.
So hit the like button. Go follow Casey if you don't. Join his group. Join my group. Buy our stuff.
Go make some money. Make some deals. Network with people and tell us. Come back to the groups and tell us what you did.
And buy our stuff because those little pennies will support our trip to Florida. I will be going to Florida a week from Saturday with Keith, who is real, to visit with Casey and Caitlin. I believe Sydney's coming down. We're going to go speak English.
Halloween, Hawaii.
We're going to Orlando for
Halloween. Yeah, and we'll be doing live over on my channel, I think, on we're going to Halloween Horror Nights on Thursday, so we might have to go live on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. So.
Yeah, and we'll be live from my channel at least once, and pictures and lots of good stuff. So
just make sure you're subscribed, turn that little bell on, and you won't miss the notices when we do go up.
Yep. I guess that's everything, guys. Thank you to all my moderators, big time, for showing up. And
thank you, everyone except Jamie.
Yeah, thanks everyone except Jamie, who is a troll. But my channel's really easy to mod. I'm still, I think, not attracting too many haters. I got nice people, but
you will now.
So thank you guys for everything you do. Thank you everybody for watching and for joining us tonight. We absolutely do appreciate you. If you think of anything later you forgot to ask, leave it in the comments. I'm a week behind on comments always. So join my group and tag me. I'm really fast on answering those. Hey, Dan, you missed the whole show. You can watch the replay later.
Yep, watch the replay if you just joined us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Casey, any last words?
Nope, that's it. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again in a week and a half with them here live.
Yay! All right, guys. Thank you so much. Mwah, you're the best. Bye. I cannot ever coordinate.